Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Hold on to your horses, folks, because this is so much show. This is a ridiculous amount of show we have for you today. I called the president of the internet, and I said, hey, I just want to let you know this is happening. And he's like, oh, hold on a second. That's too much show. I said, no, you back off, okay? This is the Farzy Show, all right? We're having two guests today. Not one, but two guests today, and a major storyline to follow. We got John Barchard joining us today to talk all things Eagles. John has been raring to go. He's hasn't talked Eagles in quite some time, but he's raring to go to introduce his conspiracy theories about your Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, boy, it's a lot of fun. We also have the latest Eagle to say what went wrong in the final 6-7 games of the season. DeAndre Swift went on Micah Parsons' podcast and talked about what went wrong with the Philadelphia Eagles. Excuse me. And also, we have a little thing we're going to discuss here today when it comes to Joel, Hans, Embiid. But we got John Barchard, and we have Mitch Jones of your Philadelphia Wings. The Philadelphia Wings take on the Halifax Thunderbirds tonight at 7 o'clock at the Wells Fargo Center. Yours truly, as their PA announcer, will be there tonight announcing goals, saying names out loud into a microphone, because that is fun. It's a lot of fun. But let's start it off with the NBA news. We got great news and we got awful news. I always like when someone says good news or bad news, which one do you hear first? Always give me the bad news first, because then I can at least look forward to the good news. Unless the bad news is really terrible, then I don't give a damn about unless the good news is just kidding, which it never is. But here you go. First, let's go through the chronological order here, okay? The Sixers got fined for Joel Embiid and failing to report his injury properly ahead of that game that you just saw against the Denver Nuggets. The game that Mike Malone after the game said, well, I don't know how somebody goes from healthy to out. Not like questionable to out. The Sixers, what they should have done. Now they get fined $75,000 for failing to report this properly. The kicker in all of this is that Joel Embiid plays in the very next game on that back-to-back, plays in the very next game, and ends up putting his knee in jeopardy 3 different times in that game. Okay, one he just left on his own. The other he gets it collided with on sorry to set a screen, and the other gets it landed on. So after all this, the head coach of the Denver Nuggets goes out there and he says, hey, I don't know how you go on from not being injured to being out. How did that happen? So all this would have been avoided if the 76ers would have listed him as questionable going into the game. But unfortunately, the knee started swelling after they had to put that report in. And what are they going to do? What are they going to play him? No. And I give the Sixers credit for not playing him in that game when he felt like he wasn't feeling right. There was swelling going on to the knee. So the Sixers sat him. Good job by the Sixers on that. Horrible job by the Sixers when it came to not listing him as questionable. If they list him as questionable with any problem with that knee, which he's been having, then you list him as questionable. Simple as that, and you avoid the fine. So the Sixers get fined, no big deal. But it is a terrible look for the NBA when that guy has to undergo an MRI after, for all intents and purposes, looking like he forced himself into playing for the team to avoid another fine or at least a bad look to the NBA. Now, let's throw in this little fun factoid. That game there against the Nuggets, you know what that was? You know what that game was against the Nuggets? That was a nationally televised game. So, of course, they go a little harder on him. And, of course, as they even said in their statement, went a little harder on Joel Embiid because of repeat offenders are the 76ers and Joel Embiid when it comes to managing the big man's workload. All right. So what do? Do they go into the MRI machine? Do they go into that? And slap the fine on the side of that and be like, hey, while you're in there, team's getting fined. Not a good look for the NBA. An even worse look for the NBA when Joel Embiid is announced through Adrian Wojnarowski and Shams Charania that he is going to be out. I'm going to use the word indefinitely. They didn't use the word indefinitely. They used out through the weekend. with not a tear, but an injury to the lateral meniscus in his left knee. Another meniscus tear for Joel Embiid. I don't need to see Joel Embiid until the last month of the season. I don't need to see him. I don't need to see him at all. This entire season, I've said to you, all that matters is he's healthy and ready to go for the playoffs. Give him a month if that's what it takes. Hopefully that's all it takes. Hopefully he's not like done for the year or anything like that. It did not say the word tear in the report. It just said the word injury too. They're going to talk about a plan that they have. They're going to put that plan in place for a recovery. A treatment plan was the phrase used by Adrian Wojnarowski, and that's what the Sixers are going to do, and that's what the Sixers medical staff is going to do. That's what Joel Embiid is going to do. They're going to come up with a treatment plan for this injury to his meniscus. Shut him the hell down. I do not need to see Joel Embiid play basketball until maybe a month before. Whatever he's going to need to play himself back into shape. Whatever he's going to need to play himself back into game shape, that just give him that. And hopefully that is enough for the meniscus to heal as much as it possibly needs and can and will heal. And then also get him back in there and playing himself into shape. The MVP award is not a priority at all. He has won an MVP award. We have seen people in our lifetime, obviously, with Joel Embiid just winning last year. We have seen people, Allen Iverson with the MVP award. We've seen it. What we haven't seen is a 76ers championship. That's all I need. Now, I don't look at the Sixers team and say, oh, they're title contenders. They are going to win the championship. I don't look at this team and say that. Maybe after the deadline, that'll be a little bit of a different story. But at least give me that hope that Joel Embiid will perform well in the playoffs and give me something else to hang on to through an offseason, getting ready and getting geared up for the next NBA season with all-star Tyrese Maxey and MVP Joel Embiid. Give me that much to look forward to, please and thank you. When it comes to the good news, all right, Tyrese Maxey is an NBA all-star. Tyrese Maxey dropped 51 points, a career high, in last night's game. They even gave Tyrese Maxey the number treatment there, where he holds up the 51 points. He holds up the little sign there written in pencil or whatever. They even gave him that treatment. That's cool for his first 50-point game. Love it, baby. Absolutely love it. But before the game, he made even bigger news by that man being named an all-star for the first time. Remember that little checklist we had at the start of the season? Remember that little checklist? That checklist was looking good until it was announced that Joel Embiid is going to be out for a little bit here with this meniscus injury. I almost said tear. Not a tear. Injury to his meniscus. But James Harden traded well before the deadline. We got that. Maxey looking like he had improved greatly. Oh, we're getting that. We're also getting Tyrese Maxey as an all-star, which was on the list. Check that. Joel Embiid healthy and fresh for the playoffs? Very questionable right now. Very questionable right now. But on the more positive note here, the Tyrese Maxey's all-star appearance here is going to happen 2 weeks from Sunday. Tyrese Maxey was talking to Sixers.com reporter Lauren Rosen about when he got the news, how he got the news, and what Joel Embiid said when he finally was able to accept the call from Joel Embiid and congratulate him on being an all-star.
All-star Tyrese Maxey. Where were you when you heard the news, and how did you feel?
Yeah, I was.
Hey. Congrats, bro. Appreciate it.
Sing it into the mic.
Yeah, I was in my room trying to get ready, trying to watch at the same time. My YouTube TV was lagging behind a little bit, so before they started coming to my name, whatever, my mom and Joel, they're blowing up my phone. I keep trying to decline it so I can hear what Charles said. But no, it's great. I appreciate them, appreciate the fans, appreciate my fam, teammates. All glory to God as well. So I'm thankful.
What did Joel say?
Oh my gosh, you're an all-star. I'm so happy. He just kept screaming. Just telling me congratulations, keep working, and he felt like I deserved it.
Not a bad Joel Embiid impression. Some people have no idea what to do with that Joe impression, but he knows to go up here, that kind of thing. He knows that Joel Embiid, yeah. Especially excited Joel Embiid. I'm trying to be dominant, that kind of thing. He just knows to go up there with that. It's a beautiful thing. But what the internet, the lagging for him there, the old YouTube TV there. Come on, guys. And for the people on the podcast, that was Mo Bamba that went over to dab him up before we started talking about Joel Embiid. I couldn't be happier for Tyrese Maxey. Wildly easy guy to root for. Work ethic off the charts with this guy. We have seen his progression as a player. I've talked about it before the season. I need to see that Hertzian leap, which unfortunately doesn't have the same stank on it that it did before the season. But that Hertzian leap, the Hertzian leap that we saw from Jalen Hurts going into his second year as a starter, where he competed for an MVP award, took his team to a Super Bowl, that kind of thing. We need to see that from Tyrese Maxey, and so far he has just been crushing it this season. And 51 points last night. Sixers did win 127-124 over the Utah Jazz. Maxey with 51 points. He was 7 of 9 from beyond the arc, 17 of 27 shooting, which is amazing. 10 of 11 from the free throw line. And really didn't do much else. He didn't necessarily pad the stat sheet in this game when it came to assists, rebounds, or anything else. But 51 points, you do your thing, man. I ain't mad at you. Paul Reed was starting in center for Joel Embiid, 10 rebounds, 7 points. Tobias Harris dropped in 28 for the Sixers in their win over Utah. You love to see it. You know what else you love to see? Patrick Beverley knocking down threes in that fourth quarter to help close out that win. You know what else you love to see? Tyrese Maxey going to the line with about 7 seconds left in the game. Sixers are up 1. He gets 2 free throws, knocks them both down, baby, to lock it up. That's what you love to see. Ice water in his veins for Tyrese Maxey. Sixers gave him this on social media as well. So I'd love to see that. Career high 51 points for Tyrese Maxey. How about that? Folks, there's been a lot of news about your Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of speculation surrounding your Philadelphia Eagles, especially when it comes to what the hell happened at the end of the season. What the hell happened? I'm not going to play it for you. It's very, very simple, and I don't think people are going to like it. Because I don't like this answer. I hate this answer. I like what it means, but I just hate the actual words that are said because, well, obviously. When you say this, obviously. DeAndre Swift goes on the Micah Parsons podcast. And Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys asked Philadelphia Eagle DeAndre Swift, well, soon to be free agent, DeAndre Swift, hey, what happened? You guys were 10-1, number 1 seed. Then you weren't. Then you were the 5th seed. Then you didn't score. Well, he didn't say this part, but I'll tell you. Didn't score against the Dallas Cowboys. The offense didn't put the ball in the end zone, I should say. Didn't score a touchdown. And then they dropped to the 5th seed, and then we only scored 9 points against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs. Micah Parsons' question, what happened down the stretch? DeAndre Swift, give him credit for taking responsibility. Didn't blame anybody else, didn't point the finger. Why didn't the Eagles have more success as the season was winding down? Why did they get bounced out in the first round of the playoffs? Why did they go from a 1 to a 5 seed? Why did all that happen? DeAndre Swift answered, and you might not like it. We didn't make enough plays. Honestly, man, that's what it came down to. We didn't make enough plays. Gee, thanks. Obviously, you didn't make enough plays. But he doesn't blame the coaches. And he even says, a lot of people blame the coaches. I'm not blaming the coaches. I'm not blaming the players. We got to execute. We got to do our job. I find it very hard to believe with the talent on this offense, even in the playoffs without A.J. Brown, that this Eagles team couldn't do a better job of playing football, executing, coaching, game planning, calling plays that this Eagles team could do. That this Eagles team was put in a horrendous position by their front office. And the move the front office made, above all else, I believe, that Nick Sirianni, when it comes to making that change as defensive coordinator, when it comes to who was making the calls on the defensive side of the football, they dropped the ball. They dropped the ball horrendously. John Barchard, who's about to join us here to talk all things Birds, had an interesting take on the situation. He points, believe it or not, at Howie before Jeffrey and before Nick Sirianni. So we'll get to that in just 1 second. Also, like I said, towards the end of the show, we'll let you hear from Mitch Jones of the Philadelphia Wings to talk all things Wings. I got a quick hit with Mitch Jones coming up in a little bit, so we'll get to him as well. But first, let me tell you about the Game Time app. You want to go to the game? Want to go to the Wings game? You can use the Game Time app, or you can go to wingslax.com and get your tickets. But if you want to go to these big events, you want to go to these games, you want to go to these comedy shows, concerts, whatever the case may be, the Game Time app is where it's at. Ladies and gentlemen, check out the Game Time app. When it comes to all these events, download the Game Time app. Use promo code FARZI when you create an account, and you get $20 off your first purchase. That's $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. So download the Game Time app, and you can take advantage of their great ticket deals when it comes to flash ticket deals, last-minute ticket deals. They even have tickets available an hour after the event starts for mega huge Kajunga savings with the Game Time app. And also, if you find tickets in the same section and row for less money on another site, Game Time app will get you back in 110% of the difference. That's the Game Time guarantee, ladies and gentlemen. Download the Game Time app. Use promo code FARZI when you create an account, and you get $20 off your first purchase. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line and talk to our friend John Barchard about all things Eagles. Right now on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line, ladies and gentlemen, this is our friend John Barchard. John, say hello. You've been on the show before.
Oh, yes. Dude, thank you so much for having me on. I love being here.
That's exactly where I'm going. Now, before, let me just make sure I plug your social media. I don't want to forget. I'm so excited to do this because this has never happened in the now almost to the day 3-year anniversary of the Farzi show. This has never happened. I've had plenty of people say, hey, thanks for having me on after the fact. Like, we're going back and forth. I'm friends with a lot of these people, friends with you, friends with a lot of these people. Hey, thanks for having me on. You know, after the fact. I've never reached out to someone and be like, hey, can you come on the show? And you're like, thank you. Like, thank you. And it's not because, like, you miss me terribly, which it might be a little bit, but mostly it's because simply you want to talk Eagle. You've been off the Eagle sauce for a little while now, busy with a amazing project that you're working on. People are going to want to hear this. And you just really want to talk birds with somebody. So you were just out of the gate. Oh, thank you. Yes, I would love. Oh, thank you. Yes, I would love to talk Eagles. So that's a first for me, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, man. It is like, you don't realize how much you miss talking about the Eagles until, like, there's massive trauma going on and a 10-win season only becomes an 11-win season, and everybody's going, oh yeah, the coordinator's here. This is fine. You're going like, what are you talking about? It's fine. So I've got plenty of tinfoil and maybe not so much tinfoil in my head about the Eagles right now. But yeah, you tell me where you want this ship to go. We can go to Crazy Town or we can go to Nice first, you know.
There is no recalculating on this show. It's just you go, and wherever the hell you end up, that's where you are. It's a very simple thing. Yeah. But just to start it off, just on the Eagles, then I want to get to this amazing project because I'm so happy for you, man. This is so awesome. First off, on the Eagles, why did it end the way it ended? And were you on the Fire Sirianni train? Where were you at and all that?
I was on the, I know it's not all Nick's fault, but, and I know but is negating, what I really mean is, and, because two things can be true at the same time. I know it's not all Nick's fault, and I would have been fine and understood if they let him go, mainly because, mainly like a dummy, I actually thought people wanted Bill Belichick. Apparently not. But there seemed to be a lot of good coaches in this, cycle, in this hire. And, it went the same trend of going young again. And Pete, I think, made a mistake and was like, I'm leaving. Actually, I want to come back. Oh, you took the DC from Baltimore. All right. Well, I can buy into or not buy into every player saying Nick's a great coach. And I'm sure he is. Like, listen, the plants died in the garden. It happens, like we overgrow our tomatoes sometimes. Okay. But it just, my main concern is just like everything else. This happened with Doug. And yes, this happened with, hey, guess what we get to say? Coming back to the NFL, Chip Kelly, this happened to him as well. And we know that clearly. But, Jeff and Howie are in charge. Always. There's like little snippets of like, oh, Nick has all this control. Oh, no, he does not. Otherwise, Matt Patricia would have not been swooped in there. Like, it's weird. So
I agree with you. Now, obviously, okay, again, not all Nick's fault. So when you do look at the players and you look at the end of this season, how did it crash and burn after 10-1?
Here we go.
When you sit back and ponder, what the hell happened?
here we go. Ready? I'm gonna drive us right into the ship. I believe Howie Roseman tanked the defense, and I think he was not given a choice. Right? Like, you just tell me if this makes any logical sense at all. Sean Desai was in there. There's a good record. We know that the defense is having problems. I don't think it was having the amount of problems that Matt Patricia gave it. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So we know after that press conference, what we just talked about, Nick Sirianni has little and probably no say in his defensive coordinator choice. I thought it was really weird that they just upright passed on Denard Wilson. He's got a DC job now. He did really well again with the secondary in Baltimore. That seems really good. Why would you move on from somebody who knows Gannon's system pretty in and out, and you're looking for something similar because that gained lots of results? Well, there was a lot of stuff that went weird in the offseason. All of a sudden at draft night last year, Howie Roseman makes a pick swap with the Arizona Cardinals, and everybody just poo-pooed that away. And they actually yelled at Mike Florio for bringing it up, which was hilarious because Howie knew it. He knew they couldn't say much about that stuff. Why was that? Because he wanted to hire Vic Fangio. And Jonathan Gannon, bleeped him out of that, somehow. And we still will never know that full story back and forth. We know Jonathan Gannon was pissed. We know he said stuff in the offseason about him being responsible for telling Nick Shane should call the plays. We know all that. Like, it is clear as day that I believe these two things either happened. Howie Roseman wanted to make a choice and a beeline for that Glenn Schumann down in Georgia because he drafted every single Georgia defensive player. Why would you do that? Just because they're all talented? Well, Nakobe Dean's struggling, and everybody's calling Jordan Davis fat. Thank you very much, Baldy, you idiot. And now you've got Jalen Carter and all these other guys who are like massively being overused, 70%, 80%. The D-line looks like it's not even there. He doesn't even bother to replace TJ Edwards, who had a Pro Bowl season for the Bears. There's all these things that are saying, yeah, we tried to improve the defense, and Howie either swung and missed or made sure that Vic Fangio was here this year. And by the lightning quick speed in which they hired Vic Fangio's defensive units and all this stuff, and how good it improved overnight in a second when they could have done that going into a Super Bowl year. Sorry, you're going to have to convince me of a lot more. Forget all the A.J. Brown rumors. This is what everybody should be talking about. There is a distinct possibility that Sean Desai was doing a little too good to show any form or fashion of going like, well, we can't fire him if he's like doing good. And then you just have Hassan Reddick drop into coverage for a few games and you see how it goes. Like, something stinks.
Oh,
this is, and listen, I know I'm just spouting off because I'm a fan, but man, there is something there. This is the tinfoil. Atomic bomb that went off somewhere.
This is where the tinfoil comes in. But you know what? It's not double. It's single ply. It's not double. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't that difficult to believe.
It's not that difficult. You know what? It might be parchment paper.
It might be.
I think that's when we elevate it.
Fair enough. But no, I love the idea of how he's sinking the ship. Because that's essentially what happened. Like, my take on it was, you look at this defense and you say Sean Desai is not doing great. You could definitely make an excuse for making a change at either coordinator position, but you usurp Nick Sirianni essentially. I mean, Hassan Reddick even said it, and I've pointed to it many times. The higher ups made the decision. The higher ups wanted to make a change. Higher ups made a change. You told the defense at 10-3, essentially, that we're 10-3 in spite of you. So screw you, defense. The reason we have those 3 losses and we're not 13-0 is because of you bastards. And it made your head coach look completely futile. And that, in turn, hit the rest of the locker room. Not just the defense, but hit the rest of the locker room. And I think that's why so many players, defense and offense side of the football, stuck up for Nick Sirianni, because they knew, to your earlier point, your first point, no, it's not all Nick's fault. But in the history of the NFL, when the hell has that ever mattered?
You're right, exactly, because the buck stops here and yada, yada, yada. And, same with the QBs and all that.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, no, but I was just saying, like, that's where you just got to go. Do you remember when Keith Byard came out and said we're self-scouting between and like, who does that at 10-3? Who says self-scouting?
Yep.
You know what? I'm going to hold my room accountable instead of a coordinator, and I'm barely listening to Matt Patricia. Why is that a good plan? Who said that was a good plan? If that was Nick Sirianni's plan, why is he still here? And clearly he is here, so he's either the biggest puppet in the world, which everybody keeps saying, and like, yeah, everybody's going to be a puppet when you're a head coach. It's it's a GM and owner league. Sorry, every head coach is a puppet, but like, you know, it's he's not making these calls, so somebody is, and there's only two people in the room that make that decision.
Yeah, I mean, the Sirianni thing is insane to me, and what really I think is the difference between like the CEO. I shifted away from calling him a CEO type of coach because I think that is too glamorous a title. You know how in baseball we always talk about, oh, they're not coaches, they're a manager. You know what I mean? They're a manager. That is more what Nick Sirianni is to me. He's not the CEO. Because that means to me he's a baller, man. He's making decisions, right? No, he's a manager. And you know what? If they're going to have quarterbacks that are game managers, why not have a head coach that's actually more of a manager than he is a coach?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I think it's because it's such a football thing that the reality is today's NFL head coach needs to be two things: a great teacher, which is one, why they hired him, and you keep hearing that, and that's a good thing, and two, you need to be the therapist in the room because that's it. And that is the truest thing ever. That's going back to Phil and everybody, the Bulls, like all that. They just said, be the therapist. And that is exactly what it is. You can call it coach, you can call it whatever, but you're the guidance counselor and you're dad and you're all of those things. Doug got that completely. That's why they'd still run through a wall for him today. And like,
absolutely.
You know, it's just, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like Nick is an innovator, and that is why we're staring at Kellen Moore, and that's a good thing. I think, you know, like
good hire.
Yes and no. Like,
all right, hold on, no. There are no fences on the Farsi show. If you had to say good or bad hire, what are you saying, John Barchard?
It's a good hire, and I have questions about how much control Kellen Moore will actually have because, you know, everybody can keep showing me his next gen passing route charts between the Cowboys and the Chargers, and that's all great. You know, like, how like if we are, here's what will make me happy. If they're serious about this and it's totally revamped, and we do see pre-snap motion, and we do see Ty Hill, like, you know, taking off motion and angles and under center and all this stuff, I will get excited again. But like, you still have the passing coordinator's the same. Stoutland is still here. How much can Kellen Moore actually do? And like, Mike McCarthy squashed you, dude, in favor of Brian Schottenheimer. And you went to the Chargers and made one of the most historically worst offenses look worse. You know, and that's your side of the ball completely, because Brandon Staley is, God bless him, I don't know what the hell he was drinking over there, but like, you know, it's good in theory. Kellen Moore has a lot of fresh ideas, checks that box, everything. I don't know how much control he's actually going to have.
Well, you are just unleashing, man. I absolutely love. I gotta talk to you every 3 months, man. Just I know you got that pent up emotion. It's insane. Now look, you got a great. You kind of hinted at the collusion idea, but we'll get to that in a second. You have a great take on AJ Brown, but again, you're the first person to ever thank me for booking them, not for having them up, but just for booking them because you're so pent up about the Eagles. You've been so busy with this project that you're working on, man. You were telling me about it. I couldn't be happier for you. This is awesome. Tell the great people what you've been working on.
Man, so I met Kyle Shishak, who is the now newest owner of the Dorking Wanderers. And if you're going, who is that? Good question. It is a soccer club in the UK, which actually was in the same division as Wrexham. And you probably know that name because you might have seen Welcome to Wrexham.
I have.
Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhaney and those two knuckleheads. They were actually featured in the season 2 of Welcome to Wrexham for a full 8 minutes. And the owner of this club, Mark White, is the best story in sports. And that's why, like, it was too good to not pursue this and turn down. I keep describing him as a cross between Bullet Tooth Tony, if you've ever seen Snatch, and Gordon Ramsay all rolled into one. And he is not only the owner of the club, but the manager on the sidelines. He is an owner manager, and like that is rare in pro sports to begin with. And the other thing is, here's how crazy it is, because like I'm the casualist of soccer fans. Like, you know, I occasionally watch the Union and I think they're great. I watched Southampton a little bit when they were kind of on their run, but like this transcends sports, because this is like you and me starting an NFL pro team in Conshohocken as a beer league as a joke, with the idea of one day we'll get to play the Philadelphia Eagles in the same league and take this, you know, 10,000 person town or whatever it is and be a part of the NFL greats. Like that is just not tangible for you and me as Americans, because that's like how the Premier League is stationed. There's 17 different layers of this thing, and I'm still kind of getting to know all the ins and outs of that. And like he is electric. I want to run through a wall for this man. And you know me, I get hyped about a lot of stuff, but like if I'm willing to not talk about the Philadelphia Eagles for 3 months, if I'm going, you know what, this is too good to even watch my own like basically career that I've made around this team, and you have too, and just like we know what that means. This is so tangible and so real. I had to keep telling the story. So like my job with them is we're going to be doing a lot of different things on trying to grow an American fan base, certainly. And it really helps that the first owner ever that he's allowing into this thing after 25 years of building this, 13 promotions of just sweat, grit, and tears, they finally go full time. And man, like we want to make merch for them. We want to grow that. You know, I want you to wear the merch. I want everybody to do it, just because like it's a symbol. It just means like the people won, and that rarely happens in sports. And I'm sorry to blow up anything, because I love the Sixers and I love everybody else, but man, do I hate the owner so much. I think he's ruining sports left and right. I think we've gone in a direction where it's just all corporate thinking. There's no creativity. And you and I grew up better than that. You and I grew up with the fucking Chicago White Sox blowing up records in the middle just to have fun and see if it works. And it's coming back around. The Savannah Bananas are helping us, but man, sports are getting boring, and I don't want to keep placing bets to keep my fun. You know, it's just like there's got to be an in-between again. No one's doing anything innovative, and we finally got rid of the shift after all that. There's a DH in the NL, for Christ's sake. It takes forever for things to move. So I love this team so much. It is unbelievable. And I guarantee you, I'm going to give you a YouTube channel to check out.
Okay.
Bunch of Amateurs. They do such an amazing job, and that's what actually hooked me into it.
Bunch of Amateurs?
Yes.
Okay.
It is like the NFL films of that lower league, and Mark is just a soundbite machine. He is yelling at the crowd. He's mocking at them when they're saying stuff back to him and they think they've scored a goal. Like, it's beautiful. It's the most purest thing in sports right now, and I can't say enough about him.
Does he know who Bill Veck is? Does he know they go back to those days and those promotions and all that? Because I think that's the disco burning night. I think that's the disco record night. I think that was a Bill Veck production.
Yeah, and there is you should. I believe it's on Netflix. There's an amazing documentary about him and his son, and like all of that. Relationship, and he kind of made himself like have fun again in minor league sports, and that actually inspired me to keep this thing going, because we've been talking since last spring, and we're finally like telling the story and doing all this good stuff and making content about it. So
that's great.
It's awesome.
That's great, man. Well, that is fantastic. I'm looking at the Dorking Wanderers right now, and they're in Dorking, Surrey, England.
That's right. That's about 45 minutes from London, south of London. It's a population of about 17,000. It's
that's amazing.
So cool. 3,000 seater in there, Meadowbank Stadium. It's pretty cool.
That's fantastic, man. That is absolutely fantastic. Again, congratulations on that. Is that the hat? Are you wearing the hat right now?
That's right. This is one of 25 right here. So we're going through a lot of different test runs, and can't say enough again to Kyle Shishak and his club, the SSV. It's awesome. It's Supportive Sports Ventures.
Fantastic.
It's exactly what we were talking about. It's trying to make sports fun again.
That's great, man. And of course, you're running all this with Monetize Philly. Is that the connection?
Yeah, it's that could be another story within its own, my friend. But I caught the bug of really helping out content creators and entrepreneurs, and making sure that they know that they can make probably a lot more money than they believe in. And and you and I have been through this a bunch of different ringers in this business, and I think it's. We won is what I'm trying to say. The content creators won. And I think we don't have a lot of the business sense that, kind of goes along with that. And we always feel like we got to create more and more and more to make money. And
sure.
And we don't. So yeah, I love kind of coaching people up and helping make partnerships and stuff like that.
Fair enough, my friend. Now I'm going to ask you these two questions and spin it back to the Eagles here. Let's start with AJ Brown, because we haven't mentioned that name really just yet. There's all sorts of trade mumbo jumbo that was, just going around for no good damn reason, unfortunately. What is your thought? You have an interesting take here on the AJ Brown situation, and it's not a trade. What is it?
Yeah, I like, and trust me, like, I respect anybody that's just trying to do anything for their mental health. And I even probably jumped the gun too, because, social media never lies, at least in my head. And when you're pulling bios and really doing that, I just think mainly sometimes that, like, that's a front office issue. And just like it kind of goes back to a little bit of the tinfoil stuff. And I'm not saying that like that's where my connection is, but I had said back in October that clearly something was wrong. Like, you had AJ yelling for whatever reason to the sidelines. Mm-hmm. Then a couple of weeks later, it was Kelsey, and it was mainly all the offensive line. I think Jalen Hurts looked more demoralized than I've ever seen him in an Eagles uniform as it went on. I know internally there are some players that have gone through a lot of stuff this season, and like, again, it's just that mystery box of what is that? Something personal happened, and it could be respectfully something way outside of football, but it still feels like it happened inside that locker room. So although I don't think that this is like the end all be all, I just feel like there's a lot of repairing to do and a short amount of time to do it. And like, I hope they figure it out, because I know that like it just needs to be, whatever this was needs to be rejuvenated. But that's where I kind of go back to Howie, and I'm like, man, as much as we love this guy in terms of wheeling and dealing and getting AJ Brown here, this is also the stuff you have to deal with as it goes along with it. Like, he even admits it himself. He fumbles this part up. The maintaining part is like iffy, but turning it around is his strength. And I think that's just why every NFL agent ends up hating him, because it's just, he maneuvers so quickly that I think is overlooked in that locker room a lot of the time.
All right, so when you boil it down, and with AJ Brown, do you think it's something personal amongst the players, something in his own life going on individually? What would you boil it down to?
This is not, I'm just guessing. Like,
right, I just not a report.
Yeah. I gotta make, yes. Who knows these days?
I know.
But like, it feels like it's towards the front office, because I don't.
So the business side of things.
Yeah. Because like, I don't, unless I'm missing something, like, this could be a total WWE heel turn. And then all of a sudden we find out Jalen and AJ aren't his best friends anymore. But I don't think it's anything like that. I just, I do think it's about the business, because there is a lot of things about the business going on in that locker room, I feel.
All right. Can I just sidebar, sort of on the same note? Am I the only person that cringes when a reporter is in the locker room or in a press conference and goes, well, because he's your best friend? Like, whenever they say they stamp best friend. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, because he's your best friend. Like, I want to hear, like, is he a top 3 friend? Do you have two other ride or dies? But is he really your best? And if so, when did he take that category? Who did he replace? Because it's not like you've known him your entire life. Am I the only person that cringes when they get the best friend question?
Yeah, I guess I haven't been. You know what? You're making me feel like I should be cringing. So, so yes, I do cringe at the best friend.
When we say it, it's one thing, but I'm talking about talking to like, I've talked to Jalen Hurts. I'm not like, hey, who are your top 3 best friends in the whole world? Like, it just seems like a weird thing. Like, you have a personal relationship is a better way to put it. But when they go, and I've heard a couple of reporters say, like, well, because you guys are best friends, do you say? And I'm like, what the hell? What? What are we playing tag? What are we riding our bikes? Is AJ Brown hopping up on the spokes of the bike as Jalen Hurts is buzzing around during the summer? Like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, AJ rides and Hurts puts the baseball cards in the spokes, and it's great.
Okay, that's too far. I apologize.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, obviously we can't find out from if they put each other in their top 5 of the MySpace page or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's nothing. I just mean in the context of like,
sure.
I don't know, best friends fight too sometimes, and you're right. It's not like it's not like just like, oh yeah, it's a given. That's not gonna. They're not fighting. They couldn't be doing. I don't know what the hell I'm saying now, Mark.
No, I get it. No, because I've had this conversation where you have the best arguments that I've had in my life are with people I love, because look, the underlying thing there is that I love you. We could say a lot of things, but I love you, and that's why family arguments are usually awesome. If you're like my family, at least.
Healthy conflict is good conflict.
There
Absolutely.
You go. Now let's this might be a 2-ply. I don't know. When it comes to the aluminum foil hat here, Vic Fangio, and you mentioned to me before I hit the old record button on the show here, Vic Fangio, little collusion.
Oh no, yeah, that is exactly what I think happened there.
I didn't even think about it, but you're exactly right.
Yeah. The other part to that soliloquy was like, clearly Vic Fangio was ready for this too. Are you kidding me? You sold me the old man doesn't like the partying that's going on in Miami. Then did you know what job you're signing up for? Free taxes, lots of booze, accessibility to beaches. You can pretty much get anywhere from the Panhandle into any beach in an hour. Like, give me a break with that. That's just like, oh yeah, some guys weren't working as hard. Okay, sure. Yeah. I'm sure that's exactly what happened. And it was just too much for Vic Fangio to continue on one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL to make his job a lot easier. And he would rather be in cold, wet Philadelphia, eating his peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with Howie Roseman. Yeah,
he's from an hour and a half north, right? He's a Scranton guy. He's used to cold. It's his natural habitat. He misses it and all that.
He missed that he wanted to stay on the bench when he was in Arizona for the Super Bowl. Do you remember the bullshit that they sold us then too? Oh, he's just here to help the offense, and Marcus Brady is just here to help the defense, and no one questioned it for the rest of time.
Okay, so that's your point. That's your point, though. You're saying that this has been going on for a while. The Eagles wanted to make this happen. They literally, Adam Schefter puts the story out literally as you have Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman addressing the media, and they get asked about, I think it was Zach Berman. Hey, by the way, there's a report out there that says Vic Fangio is coming here. Is that true? And then it was like the little coy college.
Then we can't even have 2 press conferences, can we, Nick? Yeah. Yeah, you were negotiating with him, and that's why you were late.
Yeah, exactly. If you're the NFL, how does that not get investigated? Again, they did it with Gannon. How does this not get investigated? You literally said, I can't do Miami anymore. And while they're talking about potential next defensive coordinators here, Vic Fangio is coming to Philadelphia.
Exactly. And Howie Roseman said, we're moving forward. We're not talking about it. Listen, there can be conditions of that deal that are never made public because it doesn't involve picks, right? Like Howie Roseman could have found a way, because he's Howie Roseman, to go, you have to take Jonathan Gannon. You have to swap picks with us. And NFL, if you don't want me to go public about this stuff, you have got to find a way that we can do this to make this work and make us whole again. Something like that had to happen. There's no way Nick and Howie were that pissed off. They were so mad last offseason that they were livid at Jonathan Gannon. So there had to be repercussions, and I think this was one of them.
No, okay, I agree with that. Last thing I have for you here is just your confidence level in Jalen Hurts. Where are you at right now, given the step back this year with turnovers, the new defensive coordinator or new offensive coordinator? Now he has another new offensive coordinator. Where are you at when it comes to Jalen Hurts and what you expect to see from him in the coming years?
Cool as a cucumber, because I predicted this was going to happen, and there was, and it's not regression from Jalen Hurts, because that was what I was trying to fight everybody against here. we have now told this entire story, whether half of it's bullshit or not. The Eagles struggled mightily, and it wasn't just because of the quarterback. It's because everything in there was chaos emotionally, play calling wise, and I even bring up Marcus Brady to make a Brian Johnson point, because it could have ended up that like Nick needed to feel secure in his guy, Jalen needed to feel secure in his guy. I get to keep Marcus Brady, and that's just like two left and right hand wheels right there. That's bad news. We already went through the defensive stuff, and you have a short amount of time to elevate your game again, but everybody's just worried about getting back to the Super Bowl. And that's what this season looked like. It's just, we got to keep the train moving. I know this sucks. You screw the analytics. Like, we're still getting wins. We're still in this. Let's pull in Keith Byard. Let's pull in a Shaq Leonard now. That's like very laughable to think about in context. But like, Jalen is going to keep growing. And like, if he just learns to be more comfortable in that pocket and step up, which he was doing at some point, it just ended up going back because of the knee and back and forth, and just, let's just be honest here, really crappy concepts between by the time we got into week 8 and 9, it was 7 guys on one side of the sideline and you're throwing to all of them. It was bad game planning, bad design, bad all of it. Jalen Hurts had no possible way but to go this way this year, and the same with everybody else.
Yeah, man. I mean, you mentioned Kevin Byard, you mentioned Shaq Leonard. Now I'm going back to giving those guys essentially from their original teams to your team 3 defensive play callers in 1 year. That can't be easy. John Barchard, great to catch up with you. Thank you, sir, for coming on this program, and congratulations again on all your success. And the Dorking Wanderers, you bet your ass I'll be paying attention to them to see what's going on. And make sure you guys are following John Barchard on all social media, including X, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it. And right there, check out Monetize Philly as well. John, always great catching up, brother. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it, man.
The great John Barchard. He wasn't lying about that, wherever you want the ship to go type thing. Good Lord. Covered everything. We went to England is where we went. We went to the English. Okay, so his conspiracy theory is Howie Roseman. I know it's unpopular, but it's truly what I believe. I don't think Howie as much of the meddler as he has been in the past. I think Jeffrey Lurie is a lot more of the meddler in terms of game day operations, coaching decisions, and all that type jazz with this Philadelphia Eagles team. But John could absolutely be right. And I'm with him on the A.J. Brown thing. As far as like the scrubbing social media, do I think people make too much of it? Yeah. I'm not trading him or think he wants to be traded because he scrubbed his social media. Like, I've talked to people in a few avenues of business that have done that. Yeah, in the sports world. Yeah, in the broadcasting world. And really anyone that works for a major corporation. This is two occasions I know of where they just were like, I'm tired of promoting this. I'll just keep it general. I'm tired of promoting this company. And they'll take social media. They'll take anything that alludes to that company off their social media. Like, I'm not promoting their brand. And maybe that's what it is with A.J. Brown. It doesn't mean he doesn't want to be here anymore. It means that he can still obviously want to play here. But in terms of doing anything to any extent to promote the brand of, in this case, maybe the Philadelphia Eagles, maybe that's what he's doing. That's speculation. It's speculation. It's not an end-all, be-all. It doesn't mean nothing, but it doesn't mean everything. I think there's a little bit of a middle road to look at right there. Also, as far as the collusion point of Vic Fangio, holy Stromboli, people! How come we haven't talked about this? Literally, a coach is quitting one job to go to another place where he knows he's already wanted. I'll use the cover band analogy again, okay? All right? The Eagles have had, I'll use the term girl jam. All right. Instead of Pearl Jam, Girl Jam, where it's an all-girl cover band of Pearl Jam. Okay. The Eagles have had that cover band for 3 years. And they did some, maybe they talked to the agent of the actual Pearl Jam and like, maybe you want to come here. You want to hang out here. All right. And then that ended up hitting the wall. And then immediately, after 1 year in that other place, he's all of a sudden with the Eagles? There's nobody. Look, I'm fine with them not looking. I don't want the Eagles to get docked any points or docked any picks or anything ridiculous like that. But how is that not? That is the definition of collusion. I don't get it. Seems weird. Seems odd. And also, I do like the confidence he has in Jalen Hurts because I got that confidence too. But not after last night. Oh man! In case you missed it, ladies and gentlemen, talk about things that don't mean everything, but could mean something. This means everything. Jalen Hurts did not make it to the finals of the precision passing contest at the Pro Bowl games last night, okay? And Jason Kelce in the long snap only got one. Literally in the 5-hole. Only got one. That's terrible. I don't know what this team. Jason Kelce needs to retire. He's done. He's cooked. Kidding. But on the Jalen Hurts note, let the record show that Gardner Minshew, ladies and gentlemen, that long-haired Uncle Rico hippie, he outscored Jalen Hurts in the precision passing contest. So obviously the Eagles kept the wrong guy. When Gardner Minshew allegedly went to Nick Sirianni and said, "What do I got to do to be the starter here, bro?" When he said that, exact quote, exactly as I just said it, when he said that, Nick Sirianni said, "Right, it's yours." As I said at the time, that would be the most bro conversation between those two guys. Anyway, so obviously Jalen Hurts should be with the Colts and Shane Steichen, and Gardner Minshew should have stayed here in Philadelphia because he won precision passing at the Pro Bowl. That did look difficult. Anyway, before I get to our chat check today, and before I get to our second guest, that's right, our second guest of the day, Mitch Jones of your Philadelphia Wings. As I said earlier, I talked to the president of the internet, and he said, "Hold on, let me talk to the prime minister." "Yep, you're fine. Go ahead, do the rest of the show." I said, "You got it." So much show that we got for you today. Before we go any further, let me tell you about MyBookie. MyBookie.ag. You want to get in on all the sports action, ladies and gentlemen? Download MyBookie. That's MyBookie.ag to your phone. Use promo code Farzi and get up to $1,000 redeemable cash bonus at MyBookie. MyBookie.ag. If sports ain't your bag, how about this? You can bet on your favorite TV shows. You can bet on politics. You can bet on who the next president of the internet's going to be. No, you can't do that. Anyway, go and do that with MyBookie. MyBookie.ag and use promo code Farzi up for up to $1,000 redeemable cash bonus. Get in all the action when it comes to the NBA, when it comes to the NFL, the big game coming up, when it comes to the baseball world, creeping around the corner, and all things hockey as well. Make sure you take advantage of all they're offering at MyBookie. MyBookie.ag. And let's not forget about our friends at PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. And come on. How about the great people at Sky Motorcars? SkyMotorcars.com. Check out all they have to offer at SkyMotorcars.com. All right. Before we get to the chat check, we have an interview here with Mitch Jones. Mitch was kind enough to give me a couple of minutes yesterday to promote tonight's Wings game against the Halifax Thunderbirds. If you haven't been to a Wings game, people, let's party. Without further ado, here is Mitch Jones of your Philadelphia Wings. And joining us right now from your Philadelphia Wings, ladies and gentlemen, number 24 himself, goal scorer extraordinaire, Mitch Jones. What's up, Mitch?
Farzi, how are you? Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. We got a game coming up. It'll be tonight, Friday night, 7 o'clock at the Wells Fargo Center against the Halifax Thunderbirds. How much you looking forward to that matchup there, Mitch?
Huge game for us, man. Always fun to be at home, and we're still looking for our first home win this year, which might be a little unfortunate as it stands, but we're really looking forward to Friday night and having our fans in the building.
I got to ask you because you've played in a number of cities throughout your lacrosse career. How does Philly stack up as a lac city?
Philly's it's an incredible lacrosse city. I think I said to some people, like, I didn't realize everyone and their dog around here plays lacrosse. So it's been cool for me to explore the city, be a part of the city. I played in Buffalo, which is a long-standing franchise. Then I went to Vancouver, which was a brand new franchise. And then coming here a few years after the new Wings, we call it, kind of had an existing fan base already. It's been really cool for me to be a part of this fan base and see how they support us. And I really do love the city of Philadelphia.
What did you know about Philadelphia? You said you weren't sure, you didn't know it had the lax base that it has, but what did you know about Philadelphia before you came here?
I mean, blue collar city, cheesesteaks, like not a whole lot, but it lives up to its billing. It's an incredible sports city. I think everyone knows that. I mean, the food's here incredible. The people are awesome. The people are friendly, and just that little blue collar grit kind of goes a long way when kind of trying to fit in and seeing people passionate about sports is kind of what I think about Philly now.
Have you had a chance to go to any other games while you've been in the city?
Yeah, no, I've got my fair share. I've been to everything: a football game, baseball game, basketball game, all incredible. I'm a big NBA guy, so I've had a lot of fun watching the Sixers. I think I've been to 3 games now, and yeah, I like watching the hardwood.
Awesome. Well, you mentioned, kind of getting to know this community. You guys are doing something great here. Sticks for Students. Tell me a little bit about this program.
Yeah, it's something we're introducing this year. We get to go around, myself and some of my teammates, and go introduce ourselves to a bunch of schools in the area, tell them about box lacrosse, tell them about there's different messages we do, whether it's anti-bullying or mental health or whatever we can do, just kind of get out there in the community, meet. I do some coaching as well, so I like being around the kids and especially talking lacrosse with them.
What are you taking out of Paul Day's book? Any coaching tips from Paul Day?
For sure, yeah. Paulie's got lots of good knowledge. He's always he's thinking outside the box a lot. He's a calm demeanor that's there to help you and there for the players. So he's a guy that's been around the game for a really long time. There's always something to learn from him.
You mentioned still looking for your first home win here of this season. You got the Halifax Thunderbirds coming up, as we mentioned. People can get their tickets at wingslax.com for the 7 o'clock face-off there. When it comes to this season, how has this team come together with some new faces in the locker room?
It's been awesome to be a part of. I think in the offseason, we kind of strategically, we at Paul and our GM and coaching staff kind of got younger and faster and more athletic. And I think, like every team, it takes a little bit while to come together, but I think we're on the right path here. I think a home win will go a long way for us, kind of kickstarting us in the right direction. But yeah, it's always fun to be a part of a new team with some new characters, and we have a good amount of rookies and veterans and a combination in there. So it's been fun to be a part of, and looking to kind of our goal is still playoffs and championship, and I think we're 2-4 right now, so maybe a little bit slow start for what we expected, but lots of season to go, and see you Friday night.
Certainly not a new face, but a newer position. You guys have a new captain this year, that Blaze Reardon character, wearing Jeff caps all the live long day. How's he doing leading the team?
He is a character. He's a fantastic leader. I've known Blaze a long time. I knew him when he was a rookie and coming in the league and finding his way, and now I see him in his leadership style. He's a really, really difficult guy to not enjoy being around, so he's kind of the heartbeat of our team, and he's been doing a great job.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the guy's fantastic. Now, when it comes to your goal-scoring instinct, well, you 33 goals last year with the Wings alone, I believe. Not too bad. Where does that instinct come from and that aggressiveness?
I learned how to score goals in my backyard on empty net, so I think just repetition and just using your imagination, scoring goals in lacrosse. There's so many different ways to do it, so I think always trying to add new tricks to your bag or find a new way. If you're one-dimensional, you're going to get shut down eventually. So just being creative, using your teammates, being put in good spots, and I think I was kind of thinking of myself as a playmaker first, but I've realized that the more goals you can score, it kind of opens yourself up to distribute to your teammates. So got to have a balance there, and it's a lot of fun playing with this group of offense players.
To people that you mentioned, a lot of people in this area that play lacrosse. For the people that don't and haven't been to a Wings game yet, tell me if this is a fair assessment. I think it's like rock and roll hockey. Like it's a nonstop party throughout 4 quarters, not 3, but 4 quarters worth of play. It's absolutely incredible. Is that a good way to kind of sell it to that person that doesn't really know it that well?
Yeah, no, I like that. I mentioned I was a big basketball fan. A lot of the strategy of stuff comes from basketball, but then you add in the physicality and of obviously lacrosse and almost like a rock and roll atmosphere with the hockey boards. Find me a person who's come to the Wings game and says, "Hey, that was a terrible time." I don't know one yet, so that's what I can say about it.
I remember my first game I went to in college, and I got hooked, man. It's a great box lacrosse is an absolute party, no doubt about it. You are a first-time guest here at the Farzy Show. Would you mind taking the Farzy 5, Mitch Jones?
I would be honored. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. First question: favorite city to travel to?
Travel city. I might get cheated on these questions. I'll go Las Vegas and San Diego. I'll name 2 for you.
Okay, fair enough. Both fine cities to be out there. You're a professional athlete, so I'm sure you don't frequent these places, but if you have to in a pinch, what is your go-to fast food place?
I'm a big Chipotle guy. That's fast food, right? You're in and out quick.
Well, it'll qualify. We've
Close.
gotten the answer enough. Yeah, I like to go. You have to have a drive-through. That's why I will stay. Okay.
You might find me in a Wendy's drive-through late night here and there.
There we go. Now, I'm very proud of myself. Because I'm a health nut, I started to get the son of the Baconator as opposed to the actual Baconator.
Hey, we got that. Yeah, that makes me feel good about myself too. I get the son of Baconator, and it's enough for me. You don't need to go the whole thing.
Okay, good. We're on the same page. All right, if you weren't playing lacrosse, what would you be doing?
I'm selling homes as a day job, probably starting businesses or looking for business opportunities, start making a small business of my own or selling real estate.
Okay, fantastic. All right, now, this is a very broad topic. We've had a lot of different answers here, but for you take someone out on a nice date, right? First date. What is a first date deal breaker?
Deal breaker. I immediately think to like Seinfeld, there's 100 of them, but maybe it's bad hygiene probably, or being really insecure. Those are probably two things that are deal breakers.
Am I talking too much? No, that kind of thing?
Yeah, like this. Yeah, that kind of nailed it. You know?
There you go. Be confident. Be confident, people.
Have some confidence, yeah. That's a good thing.
And then finally, you're such a nice guy, but we can all be there. We're in our car. Something's going on in traffic. What makes you beep your horn in traffic, Mitch Jones?
It's a good question. I'm not a big honker. I've noticed coming to Philadelphia, and especially the closer you get to New York, everyone loves their horn. If I think someone's literally gonna run into me, I'll give them a horn. Hey, maybe I'll stop them. Other than that, I'm not really on the horn too much.
Only safety purposes. Look at you. Still a nice guy.
Yeah.
What a guy. Mitch Jones.
Go
ahead.
I thought about getting on the horn more. I want to fit in, so maybe I'll start beeping everyone.
Yeah, come on. I mean, if not just for the polite ahem type of beep, not necessarily the get out of my way, but ahem. That's fair enough.
A quick double beep, quick double horn, I think it's polite.
Hey, heads up play. Let's make a heads up play. You know what I'm saying? Fantastic. Mitch, I hope everyone comes out to see you tonight, Friday night, 7:00, guys, taking on the Halifax Thunderbirds. Hopefully it'll be the first home win of the season for you and the rest of the Philadelphia Wings. Mitch. Damn, I cut that pretty quick. My apologies. It's Scoozy. How much fun was he, huh? He was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that conversation. He's our first lax guest of the season, and hopefully we bring him some luck, huh? Get a little win tonight. See, yours truly on the old microphone. Mitch Jones, man, a lot of fun. I did not expect, and yes, I do think that if you don't have a drive-through, you're not necessarily fast food, which is why In-N-Out Burger remains the best fast food I've ever had. It's the best fast food burger I've ever had. And people are like, well, Five Guys. I'm like, Five Guys don't have a drive-thru. You're not that fast if you don't have a drive-thru. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're not that fast of the foods. Not the fastest, certainly, of the foods if you don't have a drive-thru. We will accept Chipotle. People have said that. Chick-fil-A is a common mention on this show. But I love that he went Wendy's. I think he's only the second person that went Wendy's on this program. And the idea, ladies and gentlemen, the idea of him also doing the son of the Baconator instead of the Baconator for health reasons, just as myself, makes me like the guy even more. It makes me respect and like the guy even more. So all credit to Mitch Jones for that one. And I mean, if you're on a date and the other person doesn't have any confidence and they're very insecure, am I talking too much? I've had the opposite experience where they're almost too confident in my dating days, happily married. I remember one time I was out with a lady and we were having a conversation and the waiter came to the table and they said, what would you like? And I looked at her as a gentleman. I said, what would you like to order? You go ahead, you order first. And she looked at me and said, oh, you're not going to order for me? That really caught me off guard. I was like, that's a lot. I'm going to, you guys can vote in elections now too and like drive automobiles. You don't need me to, really? You need me to vote? You need me to vote for you? Need me to order for you? I hold doors. I stand up when a lady stands up and wait till they're seated to sit back down, But I just was like, you want me to order? Is that a thing, ladies? Do you really want the guy to order for you? Is that a thing? Interesting. Anyway, too many. Am I talking too much? I think I'm talking too much. So that's Mitch Jones. Come out and see the game tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Come out and see the game tonight. Let's get to our chat check. See how you people are doing. Sean Gillespie. Good morning, my friend. Never get rid of Maxey, but Embiid, maybe? Could be happening. Sean Kilrain. Sean's only in the chat today. President of the internet, moving up, Farzy. You're damn right. Oh, here we go. Joel Porcelain Doll Embiid has a torn. No, it's not an MCL. It's not a torn MCL. While Mad Max drops 51. I like that you. That's great. It's not a torn MCL. It's a injured meniscus. Injured meniscus. They didn't use the word torn. Do we all go by electrocution in the bathtub or just hold our breath until the sweet release from the Sixers fandom? Pick your poison. Literally. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Ridiculous? Know what I'm saying? Victor Hernandez was going 50 points and 0 turnovers. Wonder if that's ever that. Halliburton comes to mind. I think Halliburton just did that. Sean Gillespie will go, Embiid is never healthy for the playoffs. Same every damn year, unfortunately. Sean Gillespie, Dan Quinn to the Commanders, Commodores, as you put it. This is weird to me. I'll get into this now instead of the morning rush. But so Dan Quinn gets hired by the Commanders. There was a report, and I really hesitate to call it a report because I went back to where the report came from, and it's somebody from it's somebody from Oregon. And look, Twitter followers isn't everything, but it's something. When you have 600 Twitter followers, I tend to go, I don't know if I can believe this. People were talking about how Chip Kelly is tied to Dan Quinn. Chip Kelly got 2 different interviews with Antonio Pierce and the Raiders. Now, apparently, he's a candidate or a potential candidate for the job with Washington to work under Dan Quinn. Antonio Pierce, a defensive head coach. Dan Quinn, a defensive head coach. Why the hell would they want Chip Kelly, who doesn't give a damn about the defense? I haven't paid much attention to UCLA. Is time of possession still bonkers? I looked at one win they had this season, and I just remember seeing time of possession in a win was like 25 minutes. One of the things that stuck out to me about Chip Kelly was the fact that he didn't give a damn about time of possession. When, in essence, you got to realize you got to control the clock. Somebody who doesn't give a damn about time doesn't give a damn about anything. So that's always weird to me. But why would I know he's an offensive head coach, and I know he'd call plays. I know he'd handle the offense. So from that perspective, it makes sense. But the idea of not giving a damn about time of possession is wild to me because that taxes the hell out of the defense. Yet he's getting interest. 2 interviews with the Raiders, and supposedly he's going to talk to the Commanders. Very interesting. Beagles bust. Thank you, PI. Got the answer from the DeAndre Swift answer. Yeah. Let's see. Jason A. Good morning. Let's see here. Ooh, I have seen this rumor. Far as rumor, Boyd Bengals, if he wants in, will be a wide receiver powerhouse. Yeah, I love it. I love Tyler Boyd. I'm not going to change everything for you, but criminally, you got him as your number 3. You don't see Quez Watkins anymore? As soon as humanly possible, please. E Money Bentley, what's up? Not easy to work on yourself when you got that C. Thank you. I think you're talking about Jalen. Sean Gillespie. Riding double seat bikes together, my buddy. Yes, let's stress again, Jason A. It's not an MCL. It is a injured meniscus. Not a tear. Not a tear. We're not talking about a tear. Demand more Barchard. John's great, isn't he? Facts, says Harris France, PA. I love the idea of breaking down the precision passing in the Pro Bowl games. Minshew forced that ball last play. Oh, wait, are you talking about the last play of the season for them? Men's of men's. He missed his target. Not a good throw. Or do you mean last night? I hope you mean last night. Last night's funnier. Reflecting there was the ice hockey Philadelphia Wings. Really? The ice hockey Philadelphia Wings? I do not remember that. Hockey Philadelphia. Was that who Coates played for? We got Wings Lacrosse. I thought they were like the Flames or something. The Firebirds, the Flames. Now this is going to bother me, and it's going to bother some other people too if I don't do this. All right, hold on. I am Steve Coates. Hockey. Ooh, Steve Coates hockey card. That's pretty cool. Oh, wait, here we go. Oh, damn. What the hell is this logo? Steve Coates hockey database. Okay, database. Okay, database. Jesus. Philadelphia Firebirds. Yeah, okay, there you go. 1978, 1979, Philadelphia Firebirds. 15 goal scorer. Oh, Coates' corner. There we go. All right. If there was another Wings hockey team, Miscusi. But Philadelphia Firebirds, 1978, 1979. Can I click on that? Who else is on that squad? I feel like other notable people were on that team. Nope. Bet you didn't have Philadelphia Firebirds on your bingo card today, folks. Quick glance, I'm not seeing a lot. Brian Coates, any relation? Goalies. Yeah, no. Okay, that's enough of that. Sorry. Philadelphia Firebird. Thank you. Okay, so we're on the same page here. The Hanson Bros were? The Hanson Bros were what? On the Philadelphia Wings hockey team? This is news to me. Then the Wings had those awful orange jerseys in the 70s one year. I'll have to look into that. That is news to me. Hanson Bros. I'll have to look at that. Please, Commanders, hire Chip. The 70s are a massive fog for some folks. I don't know. I didn't see the 70s, so I can't comment. Breaking news from Adam Schefter. Wow. Punxsutawney Phil, ladies and gentlemen, was traded to the Eagles. No, I'm just kidding. Punxsutawney Phil did not see his shadow today, which means he's now predicting an early spring. So that's from Adam Schefter. So it doesn't get any better than that. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope to see you. I'll make up for it. There was a Philadelphia Bell football team. Okay, thank you, Rico Khan. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful, as per usual. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Almost too much show today, ladies and gentlemen. Almost too much show. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show, presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Make sure you guys hit like, smash the like button. Follow the Farzy Show on YouTube. Follow Jacob Media on YouTube. And make sure you check out the podcast for exactly what you just heard. How about that? Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. 1 week from Sunday, we got the Super Bowl to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. My thanks to John Barchard. My thanks to Mitch Jones. And coming up at 8 o'clock, Birds 365 on the Jacob Media YouTube channel with Jody McDonald and John McMullen as well. See you guys on Monday. Bye.